I think so much of what's important to me now has been shaped by Gephardt, and I have sort of the textbook knowledge of global health, and I have sort of like the theoretical understanding of what, change is possible. But I think the lessons that I've learned from being a part of the Gephardt Institute have been, how can we make change sustainable? How can we engage with communities and not just assume that we have all the right answers?
I think I've definitely changed for the better through my role with the Gephardt Institute. It's taught me how to be, a better self-starter and to just keep things in order and just push me to be the best me.
I think I learned a lot about assumptions that I had about St. Louis and about different people's experiences that I wasn't even aware of until I got involved with the Gephardt Institute.
I think we can often come to spaces thinking that we have the answers or we have these brilliant, innovative ideas, but I think it's really important to recognize that we have so much to learn, and it's an ever-growing and ever-evolving process.
If you're interested in getting involved in civic engagement in some way or another, you should first think about what issues are most important to you. What do you see in the world and you just can't stop reading articles about it, you can't stop learning about it. That's the thing that you should be a catalyst for, and you should approach civic engagement in a way that comes from that desire that you have for that issue.
I think effective community engagement is something that I've really come to learn and know more about during my time at Gephardt. I was interested in community service in high school and was pretty involved, but I don't think that I really saw, how community service fits in more broadly with being civically engaged, with being engaged in your community.
Civic engagement to me is more like a journey of self-discovery. I think that discovering more who you are and how you think you can fit into that community is just as important. And that's something that I didn't fully realize until going through the Gephardt Institute.
I think that civic engagement means to me really finding the best way to be involved, both based on the capacity that I have, but also based on the need of the communities.
For me, civic engagement is just taking an active interest and making sure that you're completely engaged with the community around you and how you as a citizen can directly impact your community and those around you. I think that's something that was really reinforced by Gephardt.
I think civic engagement can be just checking in on people or doing different things. Finding a church I feel comfortable with and going to that church every Sunday. That's something I've been really looking forward to doing, and I knew I was going to do it wherever I would go, but especially here in St. Louis, I'm more familiar with different faith groups and with different religious leaders, and I feel more confident that's something I could do.
So one of my favorite St. Louis experiences is by far the Civic Scholars trip that we took during fall break of my junior year. We were able to see very, very local, we were able to see the grassroots, right? And then the next day we were able to go to City Hall and talk with people at City Hall who work on policy for all of St. Louis City. And so seeing that dichotomy, that was really awesome because you could see yourself as a community leader, or you could see yourself as someone who's engaged in politics or someone who's engaged in the nonprofit world. And so it showed us all these different angles and how they're all related.
I think over the past 4 years, through conversations with staff as well as students and being in this St. Louis community as well, I've really been able to grasp and wrestle with those questions in a really awesome way and to learn better what it means to be a temporary member of a community and to serve the community in a way that is mutually beneficial for both parties. So it's been a really great opportunity for me to grow in that process and to see how it's unfolded since the very beginning.